today's video lesson, I'm going to teach how to play 5-finger patterns in different keys. Before we get to how to do that, however, we need to review the difference between whole and half steps as they apply to the piano. So remember that a whole step happens on a piano when we play 2 adjacent notes, but we skip one note in between. Here I'm skipping the D sharp between these 2 notes, so that makes a whole step. Another example would be B to C sharp. We're skipping the C that happens between those 2 notes, so it's actually a whole step. Half steps, on the other hand, happen when we play 2 adjacent notes without skipping any note between the 2. So C sharp to D is a good example of a half step. They're as close as they can possibly be. Another example would be G sharp to A. And E to F is another example of a half step. Now remember, when you're determining the difference between whole and half steps on the piano, the color of the keys involved doesn't necessarily matter. We can have half steps that are white to white, or black to white, or white to black. Just like we can have whole steps that are white to black, black to black, white to white, so on and so forth. Okay, now let's actually take a look at how a 5-finger pattern breaks down. 5-finger pattern is just a collection of the first 5 notes of any major scale. So in D major it would look like this. And those are going to be the 5 notes involved. Now notice that when we play the first 5 notes of a major scale, we end up with tonic, up a whole step, up a whole step, up a half step, up a whole step. That's always going to be the pattern that you can use to reproduce the 5-finger pattern in any key. So let's say that I now want to create a 5-finger pattern in the key of B major. Well, I just start on B, which is my tonic. I go up by whole step, up by whole step again, up by half step, up by whole step. And that gives me my B 5-finger pattern. Okay, now to play it in a pattern like we often do in class, you just start on the tonic, you go up to the top, and then you come back down. So playing that hands together would sound something like this. Now just a quick word about how we finger 5-finger patterns. It's pretty simple. For the right hand, our finger numbers will exactly correlate to scale degree numbers. So we start on the tonic, or 1, with our thumb. And then we go up with each step. 2 on 2, 3 on the 3rd step, 4 on the 4th, and 5 on top. And you'll notice that as I play that, I rest the non-working fingers on the key that they're actually going to play, so that while my hand is still, it's still in the position of the 5-finger pattern that I'm about to play. The left hand, on the other hand, is just going to be a reflection of the fingering of the right. So I will start with my left hand 5 on the tonic, and then I'll work my way up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back down. Now that we've looked at the fingering for one key, and we've also talked about how the pattern breaks down for all the keys, we just need to try building one in a foreign key. So let's try something in the flat side of things. How about A flat major? Well, I know A flat is the tonic, so I'm going to start out with just my right hand, and I'm going to put my right hand thumb on A flat. Now I know that after tonic comes a whole step, so I measure a whole step up, meaning I skip a note, and I play B flat next with 2. So now we have to go up another whole step. I skip this note to get my 3rd note, which is C. Then I go up a half step, so that's easy. Don't have to skip anything. C to D flat with 4, and then I have to go up one more whole step. So I skip D here and I play E flat. So my 5 notes are... Now all I have to do is mimic that same sequence of notes in my left hand. So I start with 5 instead of 1. And I go up 1 finger at a time. And I play the same notes, now together. Now with that fairly simple lesson, you're ready to play major 5-finger patterns in any different key that you choose. You just have to remember 3 things. 1, you start on the tonic with 1 in the right hand or 5 in the left hand. 2nd, you figure out what notes are involved in the 5-finger pattern using the rule tonic, whole, whole, half, whole. And then finally, you just have to know the sequence. You play from the tonic up and back down with the proper fingering. And now you know how to play 5-finger patterns in different keys.